And we get to cheers everybody here. What's up, y'all? Excuse me. So let's get into it. We got another WBM sponsored live stream. I'm on the fence. I'm going to see. And Nisha's also on the fence about going to the bathroom. She's always got perfect time.
All right, let me let her out.
Yeah, you go let her out. I'm going to introduce what we're going to be going over today. You also have the potential to win one of our WBM sponsored lotion products. Last week, we did a giveaway for the entire self-care line, which we're sending out to our winner, Nina, I believe actually we're going to send it out either this Friday or next Friday. I got to check what our schedule is, but we got all of our WBM sponsored kind of self-care cream, moisturizing type of products. We also got our little lotion that she picked out. And I've got my entire box that I'm going to bring all the way over here. Pull out piece by piece because specifically we're going to be giving away another option right here where you can pick out one of our 4 colors. I would say, honestly, I'm not sure which one's my favorite is. Probably going to say the turquoise or green combo, which is the olive oil shea butter Himalayan hand cream. Ooh. Now, the one you're going to get isn't going to be open like this one. Clearly, I've opened it because I love it. I'm going to highlight it really quickly. And then you guys can also go through questions. You can ask us details about it, especially since it's colder and colder. Yeah, get that. Cracker bellies getting into the space. Being able to, I'm going to get this on just to moisturize, y'all. Show that self-care. It's been a crazy weekend, honestly. Shout out to Deuce Carter, by the way, winning his 7th title and his last amateur fight. He's going pro now after this. I was able to show up and corner him along with Johnny and the rest of the Row Combat Club team. And absolutely awesome. So actually, Deuce, you want to hear a fun story? Thinking about self-care, Deuce was the first person that I know that's a guy that really emphasized taking time getting out of the shower to put lotion on.
Nice.
And he's like, bro, you don't do that. Like, what are you doing? You're missing out on this window to take care of yourself.
You got to seal that hydration in.
Yeah, especially fresh out of the shower.
Especially in wintertime.
I guess, I don't know, maybe because I don't have to worry about my hair with shampoo and conditioner. I don't really take time. I like body wash, get the job done. I'm in, I'm out.
Yeah.
But we've got our lotion as a giveaway on the line. I'm going to keep this one out. I believe this one I didn't open. Yeah. See,
there we
got our unopened
one
option.
unopened.
Again, we can go green.
What are we giving? Are we giving away the baby stuff?
No, I'm just going to give away. I'm actually going to let them vote. Either the baby stuff, which I put in there, or I was thinking the lotion. So you guys get to choose if you want to do a lotion option, or maybe I'll throw that in with the baby care line because I was saying how Nina won last week.
Yep.
She picked out the purple of our 4 lotion options.
Yeah.
But you guys will get to choose for the winner. We're going to do a Santa race with that. I figured it'll be fun. And I'll just show you guys what we're on the line for or what you're going to be winning, which I'll highlight. And I put it on the image too for this, which we might even be able to do. I'm probably going to do another giveaway next week as well, just keeping the Christmas spirit.
Yeah.
But we've got our baby care line that gives us a bunch of great options. So
for those of you that have kids, or for those of you who have brothers or sisters who have kids, or friends that have kids,
bam. We'll line it all up for you guys.
Bubble bath.
Also got face cream. What's up?
Bubble bath. These are both bubble bath, right?
Yeah, that's the 2-in-1 pack. This is the body wash, conditioner, and shampoo, which I would end up using because I only need the body wash. I don't need the shampoo or conditioner, as you guys can tell.
3-in-1. Yeah.
But if you guys want to join in, you're watching anywhere else besides Amazon, just let me know and you can hop on over here to Amazon because we're going to be doing the official roll call and giveaway on Amazon. But you guys can stay tuned for all the products on TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. Oh, what's up, Delbert?
So here,
how's it going?
We're
just kind of going through all of the fun stuff we're going to be giving away today for our baby care line.
This
I'm just
one,
going to highlight
the baby
them.
cream one, we did open just
so we could test it.
Just so we could smell it and feel it. But yeah, it's unused. And you know what's interesting is I noticed about this one is that although as you can see the size of this, it's a pretty decent size for baby face cream and it's all the way full, but it's so light. I noticed that about this cream. It's just very, very light. It's not as heavy as I thought it would be. And I was wondering, I didn't see a size on here, like the ounces. Oh, it says 1.76 ounce. So yeah, like this is a pretty good size container for 1.7. So it's really light. It's very like airy. And I think you put it on, remember you just smelled and put it on your face. Was it like, did it feel kind of like powdery or nourishing? You remember?
No, it didn't feel powdery. It felt like, I would say the biggest thing I've learned, especially as you're saying after the shower, is like, it did feel like, I always go back to moisturizing. That's like the only word I know how to like really describe things in this kind of a category.
Yeah.
And that's what kind of it did for me.
But it wasn't like it doesn't, I feel like this couldn't be like a heavy moisturizer. Like it probably felt very like light and gentle.
No, yeah.
Just because, I mean, feel how light that is. It just doesn't feel like it should be that light.
Like comparatively to, let's see, what size is this? 1.7?
1.76 ounce. Yeah. But
let's see if I have another comparable.
Size, So yeah.
Even this, let's say like, this is what, how many ounces? For our lotion, we've got it at, I want to say it's, this is 1 ounce. So this actually to me feels heavier. Like actually feel this.
I know, that's what I'm saying. This like doesn't make any sense for how light it is. It's just so like,
it's that airy,
it's like a whipped kind of cream. Yeah.
Good job on them.
Yeah.
Let me say hey to Delbert over here. And again, if you guys want to just say hey in the chat too. We always love hearing from you guys. Boom, we'll go into it if you have questions. We pretty much it's getting kind of late. And you also haven't really slept.
Yeah, it's just I haven't slept in a couple
I figured we can get into the stories of that. So I thought it would be kind of fun. We don't have to go too personal into all of it, but like it's been a weekend, right? With some great events and some fun things and maybe some sick kids and dealing with all of those things and planning around that. Guys, I started using beef tallow on my face and it's so great. I got soft skin. I smell like a little.
Yes, I love tallow. Yes.
But
you know what's crazy? It's that good job, Delbert. I love beef tallow. I used to use nothing but tallow on my littlest Anna when she's 2.5 now. When she was a baby, I used tallow for everything on her. Anytime she had like dryness, anytime she had irritation, even sometimes with like, she never really got like full-blown diaper rash, but if she had redness and stuff, I would still put tallow. Yeah, it just worked well for everything. It never irritated her. I like the smell of it. But
laundry pods going everywhere.
In my experience, the tallow was expensive. So I'm interested to hear about where Delbert's getting his tallow because it wasn't like it just wasn't super sustainable economically.
I might even get a little bit of this.
You already went outside, Misha.
Misha's like, come on, let me get outside.
She wants to go out again.
So what we do is I figure we could circle all the way back to our laundry detergent pods. We talked about this in our first episode. We touched on it in another episode after that, but I wanted to circle it all the way back because we had some other options. And one of the things that came up was, at least for me, like we talked about some of the ingredients in here that maybe you do or don't want to see depending on what's important to you. Yeah. And then, sourced it locally. So I got it from a shop in town and paid for it. But it's worth it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, sure. It's expensive, local. But it works for so many things. I mean, yeah, it's really nice. It feels so good on the skin.
Yeah, all that. And I'm going to just like highlight some of our other products right over here. But going back to laundry detergent, one of the things that I was excited to test over time is I have this pretty funky rash guard because the thing you will learn if you guys haven't already in the sports world, training world, Delbert, I'm sure you know this from just sweating like a crazy man like I do. If you leave that stuff, even in an aerated kind of laundry basket or bag for too long, it's not going to go great. Or if you're like me and you forget it, what I do after jiu-jitsu class is I throw all my stuff in a usually plastic bag.
Yeah.
And then 90% of the time, I'm taking it out, throwing it right in the laundry, getting it done.
Yeah.
But there is that 10% of the time where I forget about it. It's cold right now, so thankfully that's somewhat forgiving. But in the wintertime or the spring, it's rough. So being able to test that out a little bit more to see how that holds up and take some of that funk out. I'm excited to test on that rash guard I brought back and continuously keep you guys posted, but seeing the different type of aromatic components and strengths as well, because they also have their sports line that's going to be a little bit stronger from what I understand the intentions of it and the ingredients in there as well.
Yeah, a little bit more beefy ingredients for getting stains out and smells out.
Yeah, I just wanted to highlight all of that. And now we'll bring back our magnesium oil and spray because I wanted to share with you guys a story that we ended up doing for the kids, especially for one of my daughters. Cool. I think this is even more impactful versus it, but for both of them, especially one's not feeling so good right now. It's got a fever, cough, all that unfortunately fun stuff to deal with. And then the other one, at nighttime in general, if you guys have kids, you probably have this experience. they're going to get somewhat resistant, right? So having
Yeah.
routine is important. We have the bath time, we have certain things, and we also cut off certain like engaging or stimulating foods or activities or screen time. But one thing that we tried this week I thought was really cool was using the magnesium oil. And again, because they're kids, like 2 sprays. It recommends like 5 to 10. I did like 2.
Yeah.
And then we also did some sesame oil too, which is a fun combo to help just kind of like calm the system. And I figured you could talk a little bit not only about the sesame oil, which is like I've never heard of that or thought of that prior, and then I could tag in maybe on the magnesium oil, and then we'll talk about our experience. For those of you that might have missed it with Carrie and getting maybe some headaches from almost having like too much of it. So you want to stay within the recommended dosage.
Yeah.
It's a pro tip.
And then be aware if you're pregnant, obviously. I'm pregnant, so I think that influences things. Be aware of like your mineral, if your supplements, if you're taking anything, if you might be high or low and different things. Because headache, the intense headache I had for a couple of days is a symptom for both too much magnesium and not enough. So anyway, so the oil situation, sesame oil specifically in the winter. So we've talked a little bit, we talked about this in our health retreat. For those of you that attended the health retreat, we had a day, it was like the food and nutrition day, where I talked a little bit about my background in Ayurveda, which is like a sister philosophy to yoga. And I'm no expert in Ayurveda, but I do implement several pretty core practices and have a pretty good understanding of how it works and just simple ways that you can balance
the spray too.
Sure. Balance the doshas. So his daughter we were talking about, she's pretty high in Vata, and Vata is the constitution of like air and ether. So it tends to be pretty ungrounded, tends to be very fast thinking, fast talking, fast moving. These are like idea type people, and people that tend to be like slender and on the taller side. And they oftentimes also have like darker features, like darker hair and these kinds of things. But anyway, his daughter, she's quite high in Vata, and Vata as an air ether constitution quality would be in general harder to settle for things like sleep. So Vata tends to be in balance, need a lot of grounding practices. One of the best ways, of course, as Ayurveda is always concerned with grounding, one of the best ways to do that is with diet. But with kids, for those of you that have kids, or even for those of you that don't, diet can be really challenging. Kids are often really picky. They like what they like. Deviating from that, can be challenging. And then not having them eat tends to be worse than just having them eat what they will eat as opposed to what they should eat. So, as far as balancing a child's diet with Ayurveda, I think that most parents might find that tends to be a little more challenging, especially if you have just picky eaters, let's say, which she's definitely one of those. So I was thinking the other night of some ways that we could create some grounding practices around bedtime specifically, or just in general, daily rhythms that don't involve food. And one of the things that Ayurveda really this is honestly good for any dosha, but specifically for Vata, for grounding. Abhyanga, it's called in Ayurveda, but it's just Abhyanga. But it's just oil massage. Specifically hot oil massage is better. So just like slightly warmed oil is really good. But it also varies with the seasons and your constitution as to what oil is recommended. Now for Vata, sesame oil tends to be really good. It's a very grounding oil. And in wintertime, sesame oil is usually recommended. So for those 2 reasons, and that I had some sesame oil on hand, we chose sesame oil. And the magnesium, for those of you that don't know, tends to be more of a calming kind of mineral.
Relaxation.
Yeah. And, we even in the past, you've given them like calming magnesium supplements, like kids dose magnesium. So this is just something that you can topically apply that's going to do the same thing. As a matter of fact, we were actually discussing how it's absorbed even faster, right? Because through the skin, I mean, within, I want to say less than 60 seconds, somewhere between 30 and 40 seconds, it's penetrating into the bloodstream, which is another reason for those of you that have been watching our live streams why I don't put anything on my skin that I wouldn't eat, because it immediately goes right into your bloodstream. The good thing is like with this magnesium oil, something's totally edible. I mean, it's not going to magnesium in general is edible. And sesame oil, the oil that we used for his daughter's for massage is also edible. But they responded really well.
Yeah, they're really excited about it too. And the thing that I loved was one of them was talking about like how this is going to be great for her jiu-jitsu.
Oh yeah.
And that got me really excited because she actually had a rough time in her last jiu-jitsu class because the first class she went to, she was really excited. I think she was getting the better, or in her mind, she thought she was getting the better. People are executing the drills in a more confident fashion.
Yeah.
And then the next class, the following week, she was just struggling a little bit more. They were focusing a little bit on a different takedown. Like she was fine with the duck under going to the back, but then once she had to go from a single leg to a double leg going to side control, for whatever reason, just wasn't clicking the same. I think she was tired that day. She was having a rough day.
Yeah.
And when I asked her out, she like cried at one point in class, but we finished class and she did the thing. And I was like excited to see like, hey, this is the point of why we do jiu-jitsu amongst many other reasons, not just for like discipline and routine, but being able to overcome adversity. And I say all this to say the following day, she even like, I asked her after school, because she asked, like, are we going to jiu-jitsu today? I'm like, no, you don't have it today. She goes, okay. I'm like, do you want to go to jiu-jitsu? She goes, no, not like, and I can tell her, do you want to go next week? She goes, no. But then Saturday comes around yesterday, or no, this was Friday, right?
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, it was Friday. Friday, later that day, once we do the magnesium oil and the sesame oil, like, oh man, like I'm going to totally do this before I have jujitsu, and it's going to help me be like calm and feel good and refreshed and all that stuff. And I love just seeing her make that connection. So in general, just for the self-care component, but also inviting it for your kids to potentially, if they're playing sports even.
Right.
But again, going back to the point of the absorption and the implementation, then, Delbert saying, I have some magnesium oil and it dries it, leaves it a white film. Oh, so yeah. So that's another point. To your point, Delbert, one thing that even Carrie learned from the first time we used it is I left it on. Honestly, like after we use it, I was fine. It almost feels like, especially because you're from Florida, I think it's great
salt water. Feels like after you go in the beach, like in the water at the beach, and then you just leave it on, like, or you sleep in it, whatever. The next day, you're kind of like, just kind of like sticky, salty feeling, or just like more dry. And I imagine too, probably similar. It's going to be, because it's a type of what's the word I'm trying to look for?
Electrolyte.
Yeah, electrolyte. It's going to be drying to the skin. So like, in wintertime, I wouldn't spray this on you and spray this on myself and not maybe shower after and again moisturize or oil up or whatever.
Yeah, that's where you compare it with some cream. I haven't tried this yet, but I'm intrigued to actually try these two things. I'm gonna want this right on here. Yeah. That's actually something I do want to try. Maybe even tomorrow night. Or day night, we'll explore some of that option to mix them together or not. But
yeah, because we kind of did this with the oil. Like we did a couple sprays and then we did the oils as kind of like a mix of things.
Yeah, I feel specifically for the kids, but we didn't do that for each other.
No, we just did the spray.
That could be something to maybe mix or to follow up. Hey, we'll do that, and we'll shower, and then we'll put lotion on after, and going through that routine. So those are some things I wanted to cover from that perspective of it. Yeah. But we also talked about we're doing a giveaway, and the option we have, and I'm gonna let you guys vote on it. Delbert, since you're here in the chat, I'll let you. You're gonna kind of get to vote for everyone since no one else maybe has voted yet. So I'm curious. Hey, if you want to get in on the giveaway, Delbert, all you gotta do is just let us know. Just comment giveaway on Amazon or wherever you're at. If you want to get on the giveaway, just let us know, comment. And then when we're actually doing the giveaway, we're going to do a roll call. So make sure you're here. And then you actually have to jump on Amazon to actually qualify. But for now, you can hang out with us and just comment wherever you're at. But you'll get to vote. What do you actually want us to be giving away? I was going to let everyone just either the winner pick one of our 4 options for the lotion. But I also know that we're not going to be using the baby cream. And we talked about these reasons. Because the baby's not here yet, and even when they do, we're going to be using other things. But for those of you that don't mind some of the products, if you don't care about eating said things you're putting on your skin or your family skin, we're going to pull this puppy out, and you get to vote. Delbert's in. I'll see you in for the giveaway. But you get to vote for, do you want to just do the lotion, or do you want us to throw in our baby kind of cream and care kit? So I'm just going to kind of prop this up so you guys can kind of see. We've got not only the 3 in 1, we got your shampoo, conditioner, and body wash. We have the baby face cream or the baby care moisturizing cream. And then we also have, I believe this is the 2 in 1 exactly.
The bubble bath
this is shampoo, the bubble bath and our shampoo body wash. Got a little combo there. So this is going to be like our baby care kind of kit. Baby care. So I'm going to circle all the way back to that. We'll highlight through. And if you guys have questions on it, you want to get in on it. Oh, yep, Delbert's in. And this was the lip balm too. I added in there. Yeah, just kind of, I'm going to prop this one up here. This is all fun of like the staging. I always like to get into it. You know what we'll do? Check. We're going to do this. Boom. Right there, y'all. I got you guys. So again, if you guys even on TikTok, comment giveaway, we'll get it going. And just make sure you hang out because at some point during the live stream, we'll be doing this. not going to tell you when yet. Maybe we may not do it all the way to the end. Maybe do it halfway through. So you guys want to make sure you just kind of hang out with us as we go through it. We got this one, we got that. And then I'll throw in our lotion just to represent. We'll also get this in here for the parents out there, because this is something that I'll invite if you're new parents. I'm curious, if you were to give advice to a new parent, what will be the one thing that you would say or give? And then I have something I would immediately say or give first. Mind if I go first?
Yeah, you go first.
So here's the one thing. And then Delbert, I'm going to ask you if you want to share. Any of the parents out there listening, share your pro insight. The one thing you would share to an expectant parent for the first time, the one thing I would say, this maybe is kind of obvious, don't forget about yourself. In a relationship, if you're in a relationship and you have your partner, don't forget about your relationship with your partner. Prioritize that. And secondly, don't forget about the relationship you have to yourself. Like, prioritize that. Going back to almost the self-care thing. So what I mean by that is, it made me think about with the lotion is like, hey, even when you were pregnant, right, in your last pregnancy, you talked about like scrubbing or like sun brushing, and then putting on some oil on yourself. And having that as a routine is an act of love for yourself and that self-care. Don't forget about doing that for yourself. For parents or the expectant parents, don't forget about going to the gym, like jujitsu. Don't let whatever your passion or thing is, within reason. Like, obviously you're going to make sacrifices. Like, I'm not going to say who, but I work with a client here in town who just had a baby, 3 months old. They run their own business. Great person, great family from what I can tell. And they're talking about how, like, they haven't been able to work out for a while between injuries and just schedule and their business and the baby and not sleeping. And I totally get all those things, but communicating with one another, prioritize, like, hey, what can that look like? And we were talking about even in the car, right? There may be a season that you have to accept, like for this newborn season. You may not have the same amount of time to go to the gym. You may not even go to the gym. You may work out at home. You may not go to jiu-jitsu classes frequently. You may have to just do some solo drills, or you may have someone come to your house or go to some park. Or you may just say, hey, I'm going to not do this for 3 to 6 months and I'll come back to it. But that's my, like, what I would suggest. I'm curious your thoughts there too.
I mean, I think it really depends. It's so specific to the couple and the baby, even, because there's some babies, you know, within a month or two, they're sleeping through the night and you can get into this nice rhythm. There's some babies 6-9 months, even a year later, and you're not getting any sleeping through the night. So obviously your bandwidth as far as like doing the gym or lifting is going to be significantly reduced if you're running on 3 or 4 hours of broken sleep regularly for a year, you know. So I would say, honestly, my best piece of advice would be let go of expectations, because even if you've had kids too, like, every kid is different. Comparing what you think you should be doing, what you think things should look like, what you think the baby should be doing, what you think the baby, like, all these things can be counterintuitive to just being present to whatever it is that you're finding yourself in your situation. And the other just practical advice that I would give is just sleep when the baby sleeps, and be very conscientious with your partner prior to the baby coming of setting up a schedule that everyone feels good about, so that because inevitably you're going to face times in the first few months where you are losing it. You know, both parents are going to be facing times in the first few months where you're losing it. You're just short on sleep. Your bandwidth is so low. But if you can set up some kind of fail safe or some kind of schedule or some kind of routine or something that both of you can agree to, where you're going to be able to count on before the baby comes, then in those moments when things aren't going well, you can just default. So, like, okay, let's just do, you know, it's like a team approach, more or less. I didn't have that the first time around, and Michael and I have talked about it quite a bit now with this baby. And I think it'll look very different if there's clear expectations and clear roles that are set going in. And, you know, it's never going to be a perfect system, but at the very least, if you can talk about it and set up something like that for if you ever had a kid, or if you've had multiple kids, I think that would be a great piece of advice. So I think that was like 3 pieces of advice, but there's just infinite pieces of advice that I could give. But yeah, those are the ones I would say are really important.
All right, so I'm going to circle back. Oh, what's going on? I can't see your name. It's Cosmic Kia. Am I saying that right? How's it going? Cosmic, are you okay trying to get in on the giveaway? I want to stop and say, hey, either are fine, on the giveaway, comment giveaway, get you in this bad boy. I think to that point, like, it boils down to communication. And I was even thinking about a variety of things that we can share during these live streams. We don't have to go too far into the weeds on different things, but like highlighting where there's successful communication and where things can work. Not even in our relationship, just in general. Oh yeah, what's up, Joe? How's it going? Yeah, guys, go check out Joe's channel on YouTube. Also, Joe, if you want to drop your whatnot link, feel free to comment that. Guys, he's a great content creator that is live streaming and doing a bunch of good stuff. So you guys make sure to go check him out and support. So you're trying to get in. Maybe you probably don't want the baby care package for yourself. I know you don't have any expected
Friends or
or family friends this time of year can be a great gift to give away,
Yeah.
or even just
anyone have any baby showers coming up?
like a lotion. Which,
Yeah.
The one thing I do want to pivot because we talked about the magnesium oil. I also want to talk about their Himalayan pink salt because these two are like kind of a great one-two punch or combo. But I wouldn't use them actually in conjunction immediately together, but they stick in the same theme of being able to, like, for an Epsom salt bath, for example. You can use your Himalayan salt for bath, for recovery, or you can also throw it in with some water. This is another thing. If you're like highly active and feeling dehydrated, you can throw just some simple salt in water, a little bit of lemon, and it's a massive homemade natural like electrolyte.
Yeah.
Just as an approach that's pretty easy as well and very effective. And then I'm good. Just popped in. Haven't seen you in a long while. Yeah, I appreciate you coming and hanging out. We haven't like live streamed as much, but now over the last 2 months, I'm kicking it back in. Over the next 2 more months, we're gonna be live streaming every single week. Not only here, I haven't been on TikTok as much too. And like transparently, social media in general has not been a super high excitement for me, guys. I like creating like live content, hanging out, chatting, podcasting. We're talking about got some great feedback from you guys too. How people want to consume more of the podcast as or live streaming conversational pieces of content. So we're going to focus more on that. And then working on, hey, if you guys actually know anyone that wants an internship for social media management or someone that's like an independent contract and may be interested, feel free to send them our way. I'd love to talk to them, see if it's a good opportunity. But we're working on a lot of really cool stuff. But honestly, like if I didn't have a business, I wouldn't even have social media. I got to be honest with you guys.
Yeah.
So
I think about that sometimes. Like the people that don't have it, it's like, oh, it's so nice.
Yeah,
although I do actually know a business owner who doesn't have any social media. Yeah, he has social media for his businesses.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
But someone else runs them. So doesn't have any personal social media.
And the game plan is to honestly get to that point. Like to continuously, I'm working on building those systems to be like, okay, we'll set up our filming days, we'll do the lives, and then having someone come in and just chop up from our lives, being able to post it, right? And then last time I seen you was on Amazon. Yeah, exactly. So that's like predominantly where I'm going to be at these days. And I'll be honest with you guys, like I even go live stream because we have partners and collaborations that I'm passionate about this stuff. But one thing that's come up over the last like 2 weeks is with clients, especially, and even with you guys, talking more about integrating the supplements that I like and being able to say, hey, this is how it works into our coaching program and how we like to work it, and being able to leverage that and support it. Because if you guys are already getting supplements, why not help guide you along that path? Because to me, even that, and that's a whole other conversation, but even to the Himalayan salt and the magnesium ties into supplements because they're electrolytes. Yeah. And that's something that helps balance out our fluid. It helps balance out how we recover. It helps balance out how we perform. If you are deficient or your ratios are off there, you're going to be impacted by your physical performance, your cognitive performance. So being able to have these types of things. And the cool thing for the pink salt and the magnesium, WBM has both of those options, which is why I'm kind of like tagging them in and talking about it here. I'm curious what if you have anything that I might have missed on that too.
You started on a thought and you didn't finish it because you got interrupted by someone saying hi.
I was like,
you're talking about communication.
Ooh,
after we were talking about like setting up.
So let's talk about that. So I'm going to highlight even that. Speaking of it, with that communication, being able, because I like transparently, I'm actually working on quite a few different contracts for the company, and like full-time roles myself since the storm, because ish is not real, it's becoming crazy. So like start working for organizations or at least get our contracts together, right? Doing more public speaking engagements, working in different types of capacities. And one of the questions comes up is like, hey, can you give me an example of where you've done this successfully? But also give me an example of where you've maybe had some pushback or failure with this. Like, oh, that's such an interesting question. Yeah. So I was thinking, like, if in communication themes, where have we both had successful communication, whether with each other or in other relationships or aspects of our lives, and where have we had communication where there may have been a breakdown or challenges around it? And I'm even thinking like this weekend, I think could be a good example of both of those. But it doesn't even have to be that. I'm just like, that's what comes to my mind. But do you want me to go first? And I'll give you an example. Buy you some time. All right. So I'll go with first, I think a really positive, solid communication or an experience of communication. And maybe where I've had some like challenges around it too. So one of the things I will say, this is actually something I'll talk about this in front of you, is when I first split up with my ex and started dating or going on dating apps, I feel like I did a really good job communicating what my intentions were and avoided quite a bit of what could have been a lot of either confusion or issues around it because I had a lot of clear communication. And that also circles around in relationships. And like, even I talked to a friend of mine about this. I think this is where I've seen a good example with him of being very clear, like, hey, I don't want to have kids. Not my perspective. This is his, right?
Yeah.
Being able to say, I don't want to have kids. This is not what I'm looking for. If you want to have kids, I'm not the person to be. Right.
Yeah.
Or on the flip side of that, where there's been breakdowns in communication, what I have experienced for myself in the past is if it's an uncomfortable conversation, I will omit certain things or I'll avoid certain aspects of it. Instead of just saying, hey, I'm not comfortable with this, or I need this, or when you do this, I feel this. I tend to just work around that and go around it. And I'll give you actually a more professional example of this. Last year, with one of the contracts I have, we had set up an agreement and an expectation of how things were going to work.
Mhm.
And then maybe 3 to 6 months into the contract, things didn't align. And they started to like kind of shift how things were looking, which is fine because things shift, plans change, all going to happen. And I'm okay with that. I don't expect it always to be perfect. But it felt like when I tried to bring it up, they're like, we're not going in that direction. Instead of me saying, hey, that's okay, but I'm not on board with that, I kind of compromised a little bit. I kind of avoided that kind of like honest conversation of, hey, like I'm not on board with this if we're not doing it this way.
Yeah.
Again, I don't want to say the organization I was working with because they're actually a great team. And I'm just one-sided on this, but those are two examples that come to mind for me is clear communication, setting expectations early, often, and coming back to that, holding that as a boundary. On the flip side, where maybe I struggle with that is I find in a professional setting, sometimes I'm willing to compromise because of I don't want to have an uncomfortable conversation. Like I won't work with a company I don't want to, but I'll avoid uncomfortable conversations. I have in the past. Now I'm way more adept or confident having those uncomfortable conversations and being able to just kind of like look straight down that barrel of an uncomfortable conversation.
Yeah.
But what do you think? What comes to mind for you?
So just like sorry, what was the question? For
so hitting both an example of clear communication or a way that you feel like you can be positive, and then whereas like, okay, maybe there was like a challenge or failure, or where there could have been improvement, an opportunity to grow.
Yeah, I mean, in general, me as a person, I've struggled with communication my whole life, but it's not really so much that I struggle to express things because it's the opposite. I'm actually really good at expressing and really good at communicating what's going on with me. It's that when I was younger, I didn't have much of a filter for my communication. So I was always just like, oh, here's the thought, here's like it coming out of my mouth. So it took me a long time, like even in like well into my late 20s to figure out like how to apply my very good power of discrimination for when and where to use certain communication. But then an interesting thing also happened because I was always pretty intellectual when I was younger, is that this arrogance component, which I didn't really realize that until my 30s, was happening, where I tend to oftentimes find myself or assume myself to be one of the smartest people in the room. That was something that just like when I was a kid, I was always in advanced classes. I just found myself being highly intelligent. Even around adults, I found myself like just intuiting or understanding a lot more of the dynamics that were going on. So I just kept finding myself in environments that were leading me to believe that, okay, you have more awareness of what's going on here than other people. This led to this unconscious behavior pattern of just kind of anticipating other people's needs, anticipating how other people are going to respond to things, and anticipating what needs to be said. But into my 30s, into my late 20s and 30s, I noticed like, okay, there's an arrogance component here where I'm giving or withholding information that I feel like is valuable or not valuable for the other person. But in doing that, you're kind of removing their autonomy. So it was interesting because it was coming from these two places that didn't like kind of were opposite sides, where it was like, okay, I'm just going to say everything and say too much and it can be overwhelming for people. But then on the other side of that was I'm going to pick and choose what I'm going to say based on what I'm assuming about your situation, which just kind of inherently comes from a place of arrogance, more or less. I picked that apart when I got older. I was like, okay, this is just like assumptive ego arrogance. So now it's kind of this more I've recognized, or at least now in my moving into late 30s, not quite into 40s yet. It should be interesting to see how it goes in the 40s, but I'm kind of finding this symbiosis of this place where I generally do tend to say what I think as soon as the thought comes in. I don't say it right away, but I process my thought, and I tend to find a nice way to deliver and say what I think. I don't like to withhold a whole lot. I like to give the other person the choice and the autonomy to pick and choose what's valuable from that. And also in just saying what you authentically believe, you give the other person insight into your character and who you are, and it just gives them an opportunity to show up more authentically. So that's typically how I do it. And I've also noticed, instead of withholding or not saying things in anticipation of other people's needs, I tend to just allow myself to observe people, whether it's a business interaction or personal interaction. I tend to just observe people and get a feel for things. And more often than not, I find myself, the things that I'm thinking or think that need to be said oftentimes will clarify themselves without me saying anything if I just give enough time of observation. So I don't necessarily think in my mind, oh, I'm going to withhold this information from this person. I have no problem in my mind thinking I'll deliver this information to this person, but I'd rather just allow them to kind of almost clarify on their own terms whether or not it needs to be delivered, if that makes sense.
Ooh.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, I don't know, it's just a little bit of a, like, we talk about like 15-degree shifts. It's like applying those same things that I've learned in my teens and my 20s, but like 15-degree shifts. So that's my general approach to communication. But yeah, as far as examples when it goes horribly wrong, that was like most of my life of just saying exactly what I think and people being like, what? Overwhelmed. What? Yeah, just overwhelmed or like off-put by me just being like, oh, this wasn't obvious to all of us.
Like, whoops.
Yeah.
And even Delbert was saying is like, the older you get, the more you lose your filter. Yeah, I think in general, like from my experience, you start to have less F's to give, as it were.
Yeah.
Which can help facilitate that. But for you, it seems like that was like earlier on.
Yeah, I was definitely no filter when I was younger. And it wasn't even because I never had malicious intent.
Right, that's the key thing.
My mind processes information so quickly that it was just like, there was not really a lot of gap between the thought and it coming out.
Just spewing out.
Yeah. And there wasn't a lot of, when I was a kid, there wasn't a lot of fear around expressing myself either, because again, I was in these environments where I was treated as special or more intelligent. So I had this unconscious assumption, I didn't realize when I was younger, that like, oh, everything I have to say is valuable.
Obviously.
Which is kind of opposite, I feel like, of most women growing up in society now. And I'm grateful for that. But
Sure.
It's a balance. Like everything's a balance, there's no right way or wrong way. It's nuanced situations that apply differently in each thing. But there's some general rules of thumb that you can say, like, okay, recognize if you're coming up from a place of arrogance. Like, don't hold another person in contempt, whether it's a business partner, an actual business, another person. Holding someone in contempt, it never feels good, and it's not really fair. It's not equal, authentic playing ground, and it can't be if there's arrogance and contempt being held for the person that you're talking to. So, I say that probably wins across the board. Like, I can't think of a situation where that wouldn't apply. And being authentic, when you have something you think and you feel like you need to express, withholding it doesn't necessarily serve you. Especially if there's like kind of a big impetus attached to it. I don't want to say a strong emotional charge, because obviously you need to work out in your mind, like, okay, is this just emotional nonsense? It doesn't need to be said, but like, if something feels really important to say, there's probably a reason it feels that way.
Yeah. So, there's a reason it's coming to mind.
Exactly. Yeah. Let it out. Let it free.
Right, which is Misha, what she's trying to do right now.
I know, dude. She's trying to go on. So bad. I just let her out at the beginning of the stream, though. But yeah. I'll do that again. I'll take that.
Just set that. What I'll do is I'll take this as an opportunity. I'm gonna highlight. I highlighted one of our power strips that we got from WBM and one of their like sister brands. But the one I actually wanted to show you guys is the one right next to it. Even though this one has a great discount, it's a great power strip. It's actually what's plugged into the Christmas tree's plugged into it. Easy to turn on and off. It's got a nice button. But I wanted to show you guys this. I've never actually seen this particular style of a outlet extension or adapter, not only because of the cube shape, but specifically what's on it, right? So you got two sides that are your traditional outlet, right? So that's awesome in the sense of you have like really big, and I'm going to show you exactly what I mean here, because watch, this light's going to go out, because I'm actually going to plug it into the wall. We have a light plugged in right now, and I want to show you guys what I mean. So I'm going to plug this out. Lights are going to go out for a second. And this is a 5'9" length cord. So you got a good length cord here. So now I'm going to plug this puppy in. Now we're going to turn it back on. Boom. Hold on. There we go. And that's way too light. We get a little smooth one. So the cool thing about this strip as well is it also has a power button. So I'm going to shift. Oh my goodness. I'm going to slightly shift the camera with you guys. Come with me. Check this out. Whoop. So check this out. We have our little power button right here. So I can tap it on and off. Now I'll hit the light back on. Boom. The other cool thing is, check it out. We have our USB and our Type-C plugs right here on another side. So you don't have to worry about, again, if this is like a bigger, bulkier type of a adapter, outlet, charger, whatever have you, this might not be able to go one next to the other, But having a box style or a cube style, I can have plenty of room to plug this in on the other side. And then the last piece de resistance, as it were, is now I can also charge my phone. Look at that. Well, I just hit the power button. That's why that happened. I'll turn this back on with that light. That's, I guess, the only thing if you're going to be like handsy with it, which I don't know why you'd be handsy with your like constantly be touching it. But this is really cool because look, I can throw my phone right on here and it's charging as well. So it's got your charging option where you don't need any cables. It's a wireless charger. Throw your phone on. You can have all your USB options. You can plug in your like ring light, as it were. You can have your tree plugged in on the other side. So this is overall pretty cool. And I wanted to just like kind of utilize that and show you that we actually get to use this stuff. We'll bring it back over here. And then you can see the reason even the Christmas tree is lit up is because the other power strip we have, which I'll highlight again really quickly. Take a little pause. And this is actually because normally what we do, people always wait because the end of the live stream we do our giveaway. I'm actually going to do the giveaway now. So it's a make or break time. If you guys want to get in on the giveaway, so far we technically only have Delbert.
Oh my gosh.
So
Delbert wins. Yeah.
We technically, I don't even do that unless we have at least 2 people. We need 2 people to do the Santa race because it's not fair, right? But Delbert, you know, I always like take care of you in one way, shape, or form. First, let's see who wants to get on the giveaway. And again, to remind you what we're giving away, I'm going to go back to our baby care products. We got first, let me highlight our face cream. And then we've got our shampoo.
Bubble
3-in-1.
Shampoo oh, there we go. 3-in-1.
We got the 3, and we'll go the tall one for the 3-in-1. And voila. And then we've got our shampoo and body wash as well.
Bubble bath, though. That's the cool thing. It's a bubble bath, but it's shampoo and body wash. And
then lastly, I'm going to throw in a bonus for the parents. You get to pick one of our 4, I'm going to call them flavors for lack of a better term, but it's really just colors and like scents, aromatic components.
Different scents.
Whether you got your orange, you got purple, green, and I believe we've got the pink. Yeah. So you can pick any one of those. That's what we're throwing down for the giveaway. So if you guys want in on that, just comment and we'll run it. And if not, that's cool. We won't do a Santa race tonight. We won't do the giveaway. We'll save it for the next week. And then we'll push back another giveaway to the following week, which we'll actually be doing our detergent pods. The only one that I'm actually going to end up keeping is the sports one because I want to use that for all my funky jujitsu stuff. It gets kind of worked after a while. And that's really it. So we'll give it like maybe I'll give it till we're at like 45 minutes into the stream. So we got like 2-3 more minutes. We'll play maybe some of the Jeopardy background. And you guys tell us. Then if not, we'll hang out for a little bit.
Anybody want some free stuff?
Do some chatty Cathy stuff and take it from there. And then just to highlight what we gave away last week, Nina won it. If you can hand me just our WBM beauty products right over there, I'll highlight each one. We have the eye cream with our metal roller. That's like the tall, skinny one. Boom. We gave away this. So again, this is awesome. You know, again, think for the self-care, just like rolling under the eyes. And this is, again, not been used, but I just want to highlight to you guys what it looks like. So you can kind of see that nice roller cooling. Nina, I'm sure you're going to get a lot of great use out of that. Then we've got our, what's the next one that you got there? I'll see what I have here too.
Brightening Essence, the facial cleanser. Amino acid facial cleanser.
I think that's our dropper serum. Let me just double check. Oh no, this is the big poppy one. Okay, so that's the other one. So this is like a nice heavy duty amino acid facial cleanser. So if you guys are wondering, like, what are we talking about? Amino acids are just like the building blocks of protein, but they can be used in so many different ways. She has to potty. Right?
She smells something out there that she's excited about. Yeah, I know she doesn't have to potty.
So now we've got our restoring night cream. That's another one that you can take on. It's also, I think, part of this is less of even whether placebo effect or not, just having a routine and just giving yourself love. That act of love is like where it's at. Oh, what's up, Nina? Speaking of which, we we're just talking about you. So Nina, you trying to run it 2 for 2 weeks in a row? I know Delbert's in for the giveaway. We're about to run another giveaway. Nina, you trying to get in on this giveaway? Because we're going to do this one. You probably, I know probably you won't need because it's our baby care line, but Ashley might need it, right? And I'm just highlighting the stuff that you won. So then when we ship it out, everyone will see. And then we had another amino acid serum. And then I highlighted the vitamin C one as well.
For whitening and lightening dark spots.
Boom. A nice little cleanser. So that's what Nina won. We're going to be sending that out when we send our Joaquin at the tail end. Ooh, sure. Yeah, boom. All right, so we've officially got ourselves a Santa race on. And I'll highlight one more time, Nina, since you just joined into the fun, what's up for grabs. So we'll circle it all the way back. And again, the one thing that's not even in the giveaway that I'll just highlight for WBM that I like that they have a baby lip balm.
Oh, yeah.
Which, especially this time of year, for one of my daughters, her skin's getting so dry and red. So having something like this will be absolutely clutch. So I'm actually looking forward to getting that in so that we can even use it with her. But let's highlight. We had the baby lotion. We also have the face cream. Then we have our bubble bath 2-in-1. We got the body wash shampoo. And then we have the 3-in-1. Boom. Body wash, shampoo, and conditioner. And then for just the parenting side, you get to pick another one of our scented lotions. So let's run it. All right, I'm going to do a little screen share, guys. Again, I'm going to just double check TikTok. If you guys want in on it, again, just hop on over to Amazon. You can throw in your giveaway to be official. Looks like didn't miss anybody. We're good. So we're running it over here.
Just 2 people. Wow, 50% chance you guys.
You got 50-50. This is a high game of success rate right now. Yeah. We're going to do a 1 minute. Or should I draw it out and get a crazy 2-minute one? I've never done a 2-minute one. I kind of want to make it suspenseful. So we're going to make it 2 minutes.
All right.
Do a little screen share. Hang in there with us, guys. Also, hope you're having a good end of the weekend too, Delbert. Yeah, why not, right? Let's run it for 2 minutes. Get our Santa race on. Boom. Let's go. We're setting it. Ready? We'll shuffle it up. Hold on. Let me get this out of here. Get out of here, ads. I might even keep the music running too.
2 minutes long.
Ready? And you guys even hear that like fun Christmassy audio? Sometimes I've done this. Like, well, yeah, Nina. All that stuff. Yeah. Yeah, dude, it's been a weekend for sure. Especially, like, again, Deuce had his last amateur fight yesterday, so that was a big experience, and he won. It was a really hard-fought fight. I know Phil's coming home. He's on the fight right now. Let's see. Oh, Albert's staying in the lead, but he's only 30 seconds in. Call that a run. Come on, back. Catch that tailwind. I know this is one of those times that you know, that's what I was wrong, right? He's got the heavy
or maybe he's doing that
push through anyway. I'm excited for everything. Hey, you guys don't know what a Santa race is, especially on TikTok. You gotta hop on over to Amazon. So much. There's something I'll do with the kids. I think we should actually like put all their names up there and put them on the TV or on the screen. Like have some fun. Like do some. I've seen that beautiful now. Dude, if he goes back to back and calls me for like 6 races, that would be actually fun.
The last one too.
No, Delbert's pulling it up now. I mean, this thing needs some spinach, right? Hydration. You need some magnesium oil. Delbert to help with those muscles, relax and balance out your electrolytes. You need some more Himalayan salt in there to balance out those electrolytes as well. Wow. See, I told you, Delbert. All right, so Delbert, I already know your email. I already got you from past things that we've done, so congratulations. We'll close that out. But just as a reminder, all I'm going to ask you, Delbert, is shoot me an email anyway, just so that I don't forget. And then what I'll do is we'll circle back. When we send out Nina's, we'll send out yours as well. We'll get that baby care products going out. Thank you to WBM for sponsoring that and providing the products. We can even do these fun giveaways.
Yeah.
I'll put my email in. Pretty sure I could put it in the chat.
Hopefully Delbert likes the olive oil and shea butter scent. I think that's probably the most masculine.
It says, yeah, you cannot do sensitive, so I have to break it up. You already know the deal, though, Delbert. I just put it's lifeofafighter@gmail.com. So just shoot me a quick reminder so I can take care of it this week. We'll get it sent out to you. Again, congratulations. Thanks for hanging out with us too, y'all. So we're just gonna like chill for the last like 10 minutes. We'll do some Q&A. I'll highlight the rest of the products. If you have questions on any of the products you see in the carousel, I haven't highlighted them, let me know. We'll gladly go over it, but just gonna kind of scroll through here as we kind of like, I'll put these away so we don't forget. Boom, we got the official. So again, we got our 2-in-1 bubble bath body wash shampoo. We got the 3-in-1 body wash shampoo conditioner. This one has 2 in a pack. This one's gonna have 3 in a pack. So you get hooked up here, Delbert.
Yeah, seriously.
Getting all that. And we got our baby's face cream. So if they're getting dry that winter time of the year, this is where it's at. And Delbert, I guess the only thing that I want you to do when you email me is tell me which color and scent you want. Do you want green, purple, pink, or orange for your lotion? Whether it's going to be for you or whoever you're going to gift it to. Just let me know that in the email and I'll make sure we send it out to you. And other than that, we're just going to kind of hang out. I kind of want to talk about just whatever. What do you guys want to talk about? Do you have any suggestions, y'all? Do you have anything that you want to
tired.
Yeah, so maybe this
I'm fading.
is yeah, it's a good opportunity.
My brain's just like
we're going to talk about sleep. That's what we're going to talk about. Sleep,
yeah.
self-care,
yeah.
Especially on like how many hours of sleep do you think you got last night?
I don't know, maybe like 5.
Yeah.
But it's broken, you know, it's like but it's been, you know, over 2 years of having generally broken sleep, you know, with a 2.5-year-old who breastfed for like over 2 years. Yeah, just you get kind of used to it, but like some days are better than others. Then there's still every once in a while there'll be nights where she completely sleeps through the night, but usually she still wakes up once, maybe twice in the middle of the night, but very quickly. It's like she wakes up, she goes right back to sleep. It's not a big deal, but
I hold you.
Yeah, last night it was a shuffle. He had the fights. I was up late with his girls. One is sick. The other one was like just wanting him to be home, and he wasn't home. So they went to bed late. My baby was crying in the bedroom, so I had to keep going back and forth tending to her. So I kind of passed out on the couch. Everyone was finally out by like, I want to say like 10. And then I passed on the couch. And but then he came home at 11, so I woke up and I was up for like an hour, and then I went back, and then just and the
part of the fun.
Yeah, our girls woke up at like 6:30, so you know, just probably 5 hours of broken sleep. And I'm also pregnant, so there's the regular general discomfort of trying to sleep when there's movement happening in your belly, or you know, you need to like shuffle around. Yeah, and I slept between 2 girls, so you know, I got one on one side, one on the other. And actually, there was a couple times Anna shuffled, like in the middle of the night. Sometimes when she'll wake up, she just wants to get on the other side of me, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So for part of the night, it was like my little one and then his little one sleeping next to each other, and then part of the night I was in between the 2 of them, which honestly is usually less comfortable. So anyway, just didn't get a lot of sleep, and I didn't get a lot of sleep the night before either, because I don't know why we had
Friday.
I don't remember what we had going on that night either. Yeah,
I think just like sleeping, like whatever, and then
I slept in. We have like 2 beds.
Don't say that. So I'm just reading what the comment means. Like, my dad says that you don't even sleep better when they get older too, which I would imagine. I guess you're worried about them being out, or like, which is I talked to my aunt about this with my cousins. Like, she just like stays up all night until they come home.
Yeah,
because you can't, like, especially when they're teenagers,
just worried about them and stuff.
You're driving.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like,
I'm
whatever's
sure.
going on.
Yeah.
So, it's even to that point.
Yeah,
it's its own stressors. But I don't know what was going on Friday.
It was just that I slept on the mattress that's more firm. That's all I was going to say. We have a bed that has a mattress that's more firm. And for whatever reason, I used to like firm mattresses, but now I just, I never sleep well when I sleep in that bed. So
it's just not always the move.
Yeah.
Not the move,
y'all. The choice that I made. I think I'm going to pick the futon next time. We have a futon in the living room. I think I'm going to pick that next time instead of the firm mattress. I noticed too, like my hand in the middle of the night, my hand was falling asleep, which maybe I need like more magnesium or more salt, but that almost always happens to me with that bed. I'm like, what is going on? Why do I have limbs that are like falling asleep only when I sleep on this mattress?
It has that like U-shaped little concave in it that like pulls you into the center from my experience. And I'm like,
no, it's so firm. I feel like I'm sleeping on a stone. I don't know. I don't have the opposite, but it might just be because like the way my hand is placed under my pillow or something. And like, I don't know, there's like no give. So I'm getting more pressure. Whereas like,
is it on the left side?
It was on both. Like,
'cause I was saying maybe it's like your ring's doing something to the nerves, but it would like even that doesn't really like.
It's something to do with the way I sleep, or maybe I have like a hand like slightly tucked under my body or something, and I'm just there's just no give in the mattress anyway.
Yeah,
it's not that exciting. But the point is, I didn't sleep well.
Nina. So Nina asked, "What's your favorite self-care?" I like that question.
Mine?
Yeah.
My favorite self-care?
Yeah, good question.
Honestly, probably the Abhyanga. I really used to enjoy ritualizing that. So I would do like a body brush. I would like brush my entire body, like long strokes, starting with my extremities and working my way in. And then Abhyanga. So hot oil massage. Ooh. So I would just like, I had this whole ritual. I had like this carafe that I would put the oil in, and then I would like boil water, and I would set the carafe inside the boiled water and let it sit for like 10 minutes.
Warm it up.
And warm the oil so it was super thin. And then I would massage everything too. I'd massage like my face, like my hair, like my scalp, my whole body, my feet, everything. And then I would sit for maybe like, I don't know, anywhere from 20 minutes to an hour in my oil, like watching. I had an oil robe, like a robe that I only wore when I did Abhyanga, and I would just like watch something or read a book and then take a shower. So that was probably my favorite self-care thing that I did. And I haven't really, honestly, I don't think I've done that once since I've had kids.
Oh, geez.
But I used to do that often when I was pregnant with my first, and long years prior to being pregnant. That was like a ritual that I would do. Other than that, or meditation. Yeah. Meditation I also consider self-care. So, but I didn't necessarily feel that way when I first started. But after getting into it for a couple of years, it was like, yeah, big time self-care.
Yes, saying it sounds like it's time to do it again. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I know.
I get to tag in with that too. We'll do that maybe tomorrow night. And then Delbert, yeah, I just like looked up your email because I still have it. I didn't see it in my Life of a Fighter at Gmail. Maybe you sent it to another one. Let me know. But if you got a bounce back, I do have an autoresponder set, which is like basically, hey, like I'm not checking my emails except on Mondays and Fridays. So if you need to hold me, here's my cell phone, which I highly recommend that. That's like my biggest self-care has been like doing less just in general when it comes to all these minutiae of tasks and stuff, is like setting what I would say firm boundaries in certain tasks and not being all over my phone throughout every time I get an email or a notification, I got to check it. That's like for me, big self-care. But maybe outside of that, I would say like, I always love the sauna, man. The sauna is like such a good place. That's definitely your self-care. And like my body type, I guess. Yeah. And one of the things that I really enjoyed that I don't have, please resend it, Delbert, is I had sold the steam shower I used to have at the old house because I wasn't there anymore and I was moving into a place that had a sauna. So I was like, I don't need this. But the cool thing with the steam sauna, you can check my channel and you'll see like content I've made for them on different ones. But Serene Life is the brand that I got. It wasn't sponsored. I was just like something I bought for like $200 or something. And what you could do is, this is a really cool integration because it has a little like container. You put your water in, you turn it on, it steams and feeds the steam into your actual unit. You could put essential oils in that water. Yeah. And then as it steams, it's like, peppermint aromatic for this time of year, or maybe have lavender, which I didn't get to really enjoy because my ex was allergic to lavender. So now I get to really like leverage lavender wherever I possibly can.
Yeah, very calming.
Yeah, I love that. So that's like probably my other, oh man, Paul, what's going on, dude? Shout out to Paul. So here, I'm gonna tell you a fun fact. Paul was my first jiu-jitsu coach.
Oh, nice.
So he owned Red Boy Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah,
I've mentioned this before. So dude, Paul, like, man, bring back so many memories. And Mikey Triangles too, from that place, who I want to say Mike's in Alabama-ish, but now he fights on bare knuckle. And Paul, you got to check out like all Mike's stuff. Also, when we were doing jiu-jitsu at that time, I want to say Mike was like 30 pounds lighter.
Oh yeah.
You know, he's put on quite a good bit of muscle and just like putting his striking together. And even when doing jiu-jitsu, I didn't know how good his striking was. Like he's actually had striking before jiu-jitsu. But yeah, Paul, it's always good to see you, man. Basically a portable sauna. Yeah, exactly. A portable sauna. Yeah. And just being able to just enjoy the steam, especially this time of year. Or
they do have portable saunas too, though, now on Amazon, and quite a few of them, and they range in price. I think like some of the pop-up ones are like, to your point, maybe like, or the dry saunas.
Yeah, you can get a couple hundred to a couple thousand.
Like infrared range. Dry sauna. Yeah,
wide range.
Yep.
So yeah, y'all, did you corner Deuce? Yeah, I did. And that was so this is the last story that I'll kind of share, and then we're gonna bounce out of here because we're pretty much right at that time, and then we're gonna do a little bit of wind down and definitely gonna eat a little bit and all that. But yeah, so I was able to corner Deuce for his first fight, along with like Johnny and Phil. Phil fought on that one. That's actually when Phil was fighting for a title in the stadium. So this was the only time I've ever seen this. I forgot what town it was in. I don't know if you remember this, Nina, but the fights were actually at a baseball stadium. On the field.
Interesting.
They set up the ring, and it was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Honestly, I've never seen it since though.
Good way to go about it.
It was kind of sketchy because it was maybe gonna rain, but it didn't.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember Deuce came out. It was obviously his first fight. He came out guns blazing, like so hard. Like you know how Deuce is now. And then, why the end of the live stream? Don't end it. Don't leave me.
Oh, TikTok. Yeah.
Yeah. We're still here, TikTok. Don't you worry. But yeah, TikTok's just like, hey, you still there?
Yeah.
But Deuce was like, you know his energy, right?
Yeah.
So like guns blazing, came out and was like talking smack the whole time, and like which he still will do, but like a little bit like more focused. And this fight, it was awesome to be able to corner him for it. Dude was squirrely back then. Yeah, 100% squirrely, like so squirrely, high energy. And I forgot I actually wrapped his hands for that fight. And he told me this last night. He's like, yeah, I still have those wraps. I kept them. I'm like, oh, thanks, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's only been 3 people to ever wrap Deuce's hand: me, Phil, and Johnny. So I think that's kind of cool. And maybe that will change in time as he fights and continuously maybe finds himself in situations where he will need other people wrapping his hands, but I don't think so. But anyways, yeah. It was great to just be able to corner him and be there for his first fight as an amateur. I've been there for other fights, but not all of them, especially into Worlds and other places. I haven't been able to, for a variety of reasons. And his last amateur fight. And his first amateur fight was a decision. I mean, he whooped the dude in that first one. This last one, I don't think it should have been a split decision. I thought it was a pretty clear, unanimous decision, but it was a great fight and a really challenging fight. His opponent was super game and really came at him and tried to work him in certain ways where there was opportunities to try and win. But Deuce, like, listened to Johnny and I, like, stuck to the plan, implemented, knew he was the best in the world, and showed that. And it was just an awesome experience. The only drawback to it was because the fights ran so late, I couldn't really hang out after that to rush home, given the situation we were just talking about. But yeah, it was absolutely awesome. So that is pretty much going to do it. So Delbert, I'm going to get this sent out to you. Nina, I'm going to get your package sent out to you as well. Yeah, we love it. Rogue above everybody. Yeah, Rogue against the world, baby. And being able to just do different. It's really cool. I was talking to Johnny about this last night. Like, I really am excited to continuously feed this idea of people traveling from all around the world to come to Asheville, not just for the mountains, which they do, the Appalachian Trail and like all that stuff, but for martial arts, for health coaching, like for what we're going to do with my own organization and what we're creating and having people come here, what we're going to be able to facilitate. Such a great time. Yeah. Likewise, Nina. And likewise, everybody. I hope you enjoy the rest of your night. Thank you for hanging, and we'll leave it off with a cheers.
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 Water cheers.
Boom. Cheers. Now TikTok, now you can sign us off, and choose everybody else. We will see you next week.